One of the things that Penington Institute does is support needle and syringe programs across Australia, whether that's through the work we do here in Victoria for the Department of Health and Human Services, basically helping set up NSPs, training the staff, developing procedures and policies, and helping them deal with everyday kind of operational stuff. Some of the other things we do, of course, is things like the Annex Bulletin, which I'm sure many of the people get here, which is every 3 months publication for NSP workers across Australia. And we also have the NSP Forum, which all of you guys can sign up to if you want. Excuse me. So we're in NSPs all the time. In Australia in 2017, there was 98 primary NSPs and 784 secondary NSPs. Now, if you add all the pharmacies to that, there was over 3,500 NSPs in Victoria or in Australia. For those of you who may not know the difference, there's a couple of people looking at me kind of like, what's the difference between them? A primary NSP basically means it's their main business. It's the stuff they do all the time. They're often co-located with other services. There may be GPs there may be hepatitis treatment, there may be legal advice, that kind of thing, but their main business is NSP. Secondary NSPs just mean it's secondary to their main business. It's not their main thing. They're found in community health services, hospitals, sexual health centres, some drug treatment centres. Now, if you ask people what in the community, what does a needle and syringe program do, they'll probably tell you, it's designed to keep HIV down, it's designed to keep hepatitis C down. And while that's true, there's also quite a lot of other things that NSPs do all the time. When it's done well, NSP is more than just about hepatitis C and HIV. It's an evidence-based quality service that meets the health and social needs of the community and keeps a link for people in the community to the community. NSPs have been good at doing that, but there's an opportunity for us to do a lot more now with these new hepatitis treatments. How effective an NSP is depends on quite a few things. It depends on the staff attitudes in the NSP, the staff turnover, their understanding, their knowledge of the situation, and basically, the general feel in the community. According to the Needle and Syringe Program National Minimum Data Collection Report by the University of New South Wales, it's a big mouthful, you can look it up on what my wife's dad calls the Googles, so you can Googles it, in 2017, there was an estimated 765,000 occasions of service in Australian primary and secondary NSPs. That's 765,000 times someone went into an NSP to look for some kind of support or other. 2 in 5, to show that they're more than just about giving syringes out, 2 in 5 of those occasions of service involved the provision of a health education intervention, and 1 in 14 involved a referral to either an internal service or an external agency. Now, when you look at the client group of needle and syringe programs, about 6% only are under 25 years of age. 2/3 of them are between the age of 30 and 49, but surprisingly, over 50s, the people who are over 50 years old made up a fifth or 20% of all, almost 20% of all needle and syringe program clients. Now, I've been doing this kind of work for 20 odd years between the UK and here, and I'll tell you, when I started doing this kind of work 20 odd years ago, you didn't get 55-year-old injecting heroin users because most of them were dead by that time. But now they're not, thankfully, so there's a chance for us to do a lot more with them. A secondary NSPs, when you go into a secondary NSP, the NSP worker is often the nice person behind the counter that makes your doctor's appointment as well as giving you your syringes. Now, people have often said to me, how can you expect someone in that position to talk about hepatitis treatments or talk about hepatitis in general? And the truth is they're actually in a perfect situation to do it, with a little training and support, of course. The workers at these NSPs see their clients often every day of the week. They've seen some of these regular clients they have coming in every day of the week, sometimes for years on end, and they often get to have really good relationships, really good engaging relationships with them. They often have GPs on site, or as Stephen said, pharmacies on site. They have other services, drug and alcohol workers, all sorts of other things already there. And the workers often know exactly what's going on in their communities, and they have links with other services in the community. And most importantly, as we found out over the last year or two, they're actually really willing to be part of this opportunity to get rid of hepatitis C. Now, I know that because earlier this year, was it earlier this year, Keith? It was some earlier this year, and it was earlier this year, Penington Institute did hepatitis C treatment and hepatitis C and NSP training funded by the Northwest Primary Healthcare Network in NSPs in the northwest of Melbourne. It was Broadmeadows and a few other places, wasn't it? The NSP's workers were left feeling more confident, they felt more comfortable talking to clients about it, and they felt like they had more knowledge about it. But the truth is that training is only a part of the solution for this. We can train people all day and all night, but what we need is a structure for sustained follow-up and not just train people over and over again. That will involve an effort, will involve a lot of effort. It will involve willingness to move beyond just training on behalf of quite a few people. It will take a lot of planning, and of course, most of all, it will probably take a lot of funding. Now, today you're going to hear from several speakers about hepatitis treatments and testing and lots of other things. But I want to leave you with this, that the next time you go into your local health service, if you see the needle and syringe program sign, which is the two arrows, a red arrow and a white arrow in a kind of a circle, have a look at the person behind the counter who's actually doing so much already for people who inject drugs in our community, and see and think about what you can do in your service to help them with this hepatitis treatments. Thank you very much.